everyone, it's Christina, and I'm back today with some productivity tips that have really changed the game for me. For those of you who don't know me, I have my own business. I have a husband and I'm a mother of two. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. So our days are pretty busy. My husband and I both work full-time, and sometimes it's hard to do all the things, right? So everything from working your 9 to 5 to coming home, making dinner, packing lunches, doing homework, or spending quality time, all those things, from the time we get up to the time we go to bed, it was feeling like definitely like a hamster wheel. Like we couldn't get off, we couldn't get ahead of it, we were always just playing catch up, we were always just doing the bare minimum to get by, or whatever needed to be done most immediately. It seemed like there was never enough time to get ahead in any way. So what will happen when you're in that kind of cycle is you feel like you're doing a lot of different things, but you don't feel like you're doing any of them really that great or that spectacular. You're just kind of keeping your head above water to keep from drowning, basically. So I want to share with you 5 of the productivity game changers that have come into my life, or that I've kind of developed by reading books and getting different advice in this field. So, it's all about being more efficient, more present, getting more quality out of our days, instead of just feeling like, another day went by and I didn't really get anything done. Nobody really felt like that productive, or that noticed even. So my first game-changing tip is to always strive to play offense instead of defense. So what I mean by this is, preparation is key, and that's really what I found, especially with small children, especially running a business, especially having all of these balls up in the air that you're always juggling, that you're always switching between, back and forth. So what's really helped me is getting ahead of the game. So, and it's not this big, it doesn't have to be this big preparation session even. It's these little things that you can do to make the day go smoother, specifically the morning, to make the morning go smoother, get your day off right. Don't feel like when you wake up, you're already behind and you're playing catch up and you're trying to still get out the door on time, or still get to that first meeting, even if you're working at home, to get there not frazzled, and to just be able to take a moment. And the biggest tip, if you have children, particularly small children, is to always get up before them. So this has changed my life completely. And I'm not a morning person. I don't think I ever will naturally be a morning person. I am the type that will stay up all night long, 2, 3 in the morning, go to bed, and get up at 6 the next morning and not feel good about it, and not feel rested, and not feel ready to get up, but whatever. So I'm not a morning person. I have to really force myself to be one, and I don't want to sugarcoat it. It's not easy, it's not fun, but I have noticed to get up before the kids. So the kids get up at 6:45, pretty much on the dot, because they have one of those light changing lights, the noise machines that change color lights. So they know when it turns to green light, it's time to get up. And my son, who just turned 2, it's almost like out of a movie. Sometimes I'll watch him, I'll be in there waiting for the light to change, and I'll kind of just be watching their beds, and it's as soon as green light turns on, it's his eyes pop open, almost like in a horror movie. So for whatever reason, that really works. So the light system is something I can talk about in a different video if anyone's interested. But anyway, they have a light system. They wake up at 6:45 when the light turns green, and what's changed my life is literally getting up an hour before them. So 45 minutes to an hour. So I might wake up anywhere from 5:45 to 6 and get up, get myself ready completely, dressed, hair, makeup, even go so far as to pack the bag. So, lunches and all this stuff's already packed, but I just need to put it in their backpacks and get it to the car. So before I started doing this, before I started being in this mindset of being in the offense instead of the defense always, I will even go so far as to put the lunch boxes in their backpacks, get the backpacks and my lunch and whatever else, my work bag, everything in the car. So literally when I'm walking out the door in the morning with them, I have the kids hand in hand and maybe my coffee, my like travel mug, and that's it. So before I changed to this mindset and before I changed to this strategy, I was trying to get the kids out the door, everyone's shoes on, the kids, I had like 50 bags. It felt like, you feel like a pack mule and you're trying to like get out the door with the kids in hand, make sure nobody's running into the street, all that kind of stuff. So by even just like taking that moment, running all the stuff out to the car, getting it in there, and before the kids are even up, that's like a game changer, right? So they don't need access to their backpacks, they don't need their packed lunch in the morning. So just get it in there and yeah, it'll change your life. It's pretty much changed mine. I have other tips for like the morning and how to make that go a little bit smoother. And because our mornings are beautiful right now, and I definitely couldn't say that. Obviously we're still in the middle of the pandemic and coronavirus, so I know not everyone's leaving the house like they were. We are right now not the same as we were before the virus, but we are still getting up. I still go to an office. My husband goes to his office some days and works from home the other days. But we are all getting out of the house in the morning. So, I get up at like 6, the kids get up at 6:45. Like this morning we were out the door at 7:15. So 30 minutes to get the kids, ready, get them breakfast, get them teeth brushed, faces washed, like hair done, shoes on, out the door. And that's literally like by paring it down and making less things, like even prepping their breakfast, while you're waiting for them to wake up, prep their breakfast. And like I'll get their bowls of cereal, I'll pour, not the milk, but I'll get everything ready to go, so it's just sitting there. So it's just less things that my hands have to be on while the kids are up. They just go and they sit down at their spot, or sometimes if I want to get to work extra early, I don't get them up extra early. I will prep their breakfast, and sometimes I'll just put a bunch of bread, because they love buttered toast in the morning, ready to go down. So I don't like toast it right then, but it's all in the toaster ready to go. So when I get up, or when they get up, they might be starting to brush their teeth, I can go and pop that down and it can start toasting while we're brushing our teeth. When they get out, so it just makes the morning go so much smoother. It's changed everything. So preparation is key. Try to be on the offensive line instead of always playing defense, because that's a really easy way to get really frazzled pretty quickly. So if you're always like behind, if you're at the curve, if you're always feeling like you're running late, or you're gonna just barely get there on time, like that was definitely me. Like I used to always be pushing the line and pushing the envelope, and not by choice. I'm not just a natural early riser. I'm not an early bird, really. I'm not late usually, like ever, but I'm not there with ample time. I'm not having a relaxing drive to whatever meeting I'm heading toward usually. So these are areas that I'm really looking to change, and I'm noticing a difference in my day-to-day. Okay, so the next thing is getting your mind right. After your hopefully semi-leisurely, pretty smooth morning routine, or morning getting everyone up and dressed and out the door and wherever they need to be. A lot of people don't really buy into the meditation thing, and I don't even know if I would call it meditation, but I would call it mindful stillness. So I have to, at what point in the day do you ever find yourself just sitting there, just alone with your thoughts, right? Sifting through your mind, whatever is plaguing it. So I don't know that I'm doing a meditation practice in the right way. So I don't even know if there is a right way to that. But all I'm doing is setting a timer for 5 minutes when I get to my desk. Maybe closing my eyes, maybe not, but just getting my mind in order. So like I said, I have a business, I have 2 small children, I have a husband, we have an old historic farmhouse that we're renovating. So there's lots of stuff, lots of moving pieces always going, and I feel like it's really easy for my mind to get kind of fixated on the wrong things, or to just feel really overwhelmed. So by taking those 5 minutes, sitting there with my thoughts, kind of just going through, maybe even reflecting on the morning, how did your morning go? What could have gone better? Where was the hang up? What was the situation that prevented it from going smoother, I guess. So yeah, so I would say power is in stillness, and for me, stillness has to be a conscious effort. Like I'm like go, go, go all day long from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. And we all know I go to bed at like 2 a.m. So that's a long day of constant, just my mind can't shut down. I'm definitely that type. So this has really helped me. So 5 minutes, like that's it. Like set a timer. Nobody has to know you're doing it. It doesn't have to be this weird office thing or anything like that. Just sit at your desk. You could look like you're working on your computer. You could look like you're writing something. But yeah, just kind of get your mind in order. And that's really helped me a lot. Next thing is kind of along those lines. So I know people, like the whole brain dump thing. I am definitely a believer in the brain dump. I think that you should get everything out of your mind. Your mind is not really meant for storage. It's meant for ideas and for active thinking and active recall and that kind of stuff. But it's not really a good place to store that information. So for me, a brain dump, I'll take it one step further. So instead of just like brain dumping like everything that's on my mind. So like this morning I was thinking, oh, I need to schedule dentist appointments for the kids because they all got canceled during when everything was shut down. So, you know, schedule dentist appointments. I need to schedule people to work on the house. I need to remember to return that package to J. Crew. Like all these things are random things that need to be done, and they're definitely on my list of things to do, but it can feel overwhelming. So I may have a list of like, you know, 50 things to do and across all the categories of my life. So what I've come to do is categorize it. So kids, home, office, you know, whatever other categories might pertain to you. So for me, like under kids, I would put scheduled dentist appointments. You know, under home, I would put, I need to schedule it's not plumbing, but it's one of those. So I need to schedule you know, for them to come out and do their annual stuff. So that's all stuff on my list, but that way it's categorized. It's not just like all over there. Take it one step further, color code it. So, you know, call dentist, call home maintenance. Like those are all phone calls to be made, right? So schedule those or color code them pink. So if I have all these pink things, I know those are calls to make, right? So even if you want to go one step further, save your future self some hassle. Put the number of the dentist, put the number of that home maintenance group that I can't think of right now, and you know, put it there so that when you sit down and you have 10 minutes of time, this is low energy tasks, right? If you have 10 minutes, you can sit down with your list, look at all of your pink color coded line items, and have your phone handy, bam, 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 knock them all out, check them off your list. It's gonna feel so good. So, you know, do these little things for your future self, because your future self will appreciate having that number there, having all those tasks already organized in a way that you can visually see, I need to call 5 different people today and get those all done. You know, if you're already in calling mode, you might as well just get it done. So yeah, categorizing your brain dump has definitely helped me as well. So it's just, that way I can think like, let me think what is going on with the kids. And I can think of everything that might pertain. So I had to cancel, you know, my daughter's gymnastics membership. I had to call the swim place. They were set up for swim lessons that obviously got canceled because of the virus. So all these places I had to like call, and they were pertaining to the kids, but they were also phone calls to make. So categorizing it in that way has really been helpful for me, and I feel like I'm getting a lot more done when I'm organizing it in this way. So productivity tip, I don't even know what number we're on, but moving the needle, right? So like I said, I might have 50 things on my to-do list. A lot of those things will get carried over. I'm obviously probably not going to get all 50 things done today. So stuff was probably carried over from yesterday, and maybe the day before that, and maybe in the past week, it's still been on my list. So my next tip is to move the needle. So whatever that looks like for you, it may even be something as simple as call mom, right? You've been meaning to call mom to check up, like check in and have a conversation and just kind of like touch base. And maybe that's on your list, and maybe it's not moving the needle in a productive sense of moving your business forward or something like that. But like if it's been on your list for a couple days and it's been kind of obviously nagging you or obviously been on your mind, you should do it, because it's kind of like the whole saying like eat the frog. Well, move the needle. So get that either checked off, or even if it's like something in your business. So I know I have things in my business that are not the most fun. They're not things that maybe I'm not even quite sure how to do them, and I find that this is really common for me, is if there's any kind of hiccup in how to execute that task, I will put it off. and I'm a master procrastinator. Anyone who knows me knows that about me. So this has been really helpful. So if I can like scan through my now organized brain dump to-do list, scan through it, see what's been on there for a couple days, or knowing me, probably even a couple weeks. If it doesn't have a hard deadline, it's probably been pushed off quite a bit. So if I can look through my list, pick out that thing that has been nagging me and still hasn't gotten done, but I would like to get done, then I'm going to try my best to get that one item done. So even if it's the one out of the 50 on my list, it's going to feel good. So, and it's going to feel like I did move the needle in some way. And my last one is quality time. So this is a hard one for me. So I'm very conscious of wanting to be a good mom and wanting to be a good boss and a good business owner and a good wife and all of these things, a good friend, a good daughter. But sometimes I get so caught up in the day-to-day stuff, and don't we all, right? We all get really caught up in what's next on the to-do list. What else can I get done today for my business, or what else can I get done today, around the house, or what home projects can we do? So two sides to that coin, right? Getting all those things done feels really good, and it feels really productive, and it feels like you are changing your life by getting that project done, or by organizing that closet, or whatever, right? I have found I need to really, I'm just not a natural player. And by player, I mean like with my kids. So I'm not one, it doesn't come super natural to me to sit down and play blocks and play like make-believe or pretend. And it's like I can do those things. And I think once I'm in that mindset, I can do them pretty well too. And the kids love it. And it's like, it's something that's, I need to really make conscious effort to do, and to make the time to do, not even to make the time to do. So it's so tempting to get like swept away in like the busyness of life, right? So you can always do one more thing or get a little bit further in a project or whatever. But I found that if I stop and slow down every day, and make the time to, even if you have to set a timer for 30 minutes. Go to the kids' playroom, sit down, do whatever they want to do, even if it's something that you don't know how it could possibly be fun. I have a 5 and a 2-year-old. There are definitely some games and activities where I don't get, and that's okay. So, but yeah, do whatever they want to do. Like that's like their time with you. So anyway, and obviously, if you don't have kids, or you can't really relate to this part of it, so maybe it's even like watching a show with your spouse or your partner, or setting a date with a friend, or calling your mom or your dad or somebody to check in, someone, or your grandparent, like a real connection and on some level with someone you care about. So I think it's like quality time. Like we only get this one life, right? We all get the same number of minutes in a day. So yes, it's great to be productive. It's great to get things done. I am very much someone who strives on getting a gold star and moving the needle and being productive and having results to show for it, and they make me strive to be the best version of myself. But it's like what I've learned with age, and my intern reminds me all the time how old I am. So, and I feel really old compared to her, but I think it's really easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, and it's really important to be present. And I know that's like a really probably cheesy, probably kind of like overused expression right now, but it's so true. And I think that kids, more than anyone, to them, they don't have the same concept of time that we do, right? So, like my daughter's 5, she's still, she definitely knows like there are hours and days and weeks and months and years and all that, but her perception of time is still very off. So, she might feel like, oh, remember that time that we did this last week or whatever, and it was like 2 years ago, So I think that it's really important that every day we have some quality time with someone, whether it be your kids or anyone. And that's really helped me feel more productive. So even though, how could sitting on the floor for a half hour playing some game you don't even understand the rules to, how can that be productive? Well, it is. It's just, trust me, it is. So it's quality time that's, I mean, probably the most productive part of most days. And that's a whole different topic. Getting caught up in like the stupid to-dos. There are lots of stupid to-dos on your list, and I can guarantee it, because they're definitely on mine. And they're ones that may even feel pretty like dire in the moment. Like they feel like world is going to end, like, oh my gosh, I need to get this done for this client, you know, or the world is literally going to end. And I've been in that mindset. That's not fun. That's not right. It's not the way the world actually is. And that's where, go back to your 5-minute meditation or your 5-minute stillness ritual, and that's where those types of things will be very apparent on what's important and what's not important. And I mean, not that's not important, but it's not as important as your mind is telling you it is. Those would be my 5 tips. I hope this was a little bit interesting. These are things that have definitely changed my perspective. I would say definitely my day-to-day. And yeah, it made me a more productive person. It made me a calmer person, like someone who's not so frazzled. Like not that I ever even looked frazzled. It's that I would always felt like I was always playing catch up. I was always a little bit behind, or I was always not able to get ahead. So, but now I do feel like I can, and I feel like I am in a lot of areas of my life. So yeah. Let me know if this was interesting. Let me know if you have any other tips that I missed, which I'm sure I did. Like, these are only 5 of the main ones that I've noticed played a direct improvement in my life. But I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a comment, reach out on my blog. It's mynewenglandsoul.com, and it's SEOUL, like the Korean city. And yeah, like this video, subscribe, you know, if you want to see more of this type of stuff. But my next video, or coming soon, I'm definitely going to do a productive morning like routine with kids. So for any of you who have kids, I would definitely recommend subscribing so you don't miss that. So I hope to see you in the next video. Leave a comment if there's any questions or anything you want to see. Thanks so much. Take good care. Bye.